Imagine a fighter jet that can see an enemy missile launch from 800 miles away, share that data with a warship in the middle of the ocean, and jam a dictator's entire air defense system, all while remaining completely invisible on radar. It has been called a trillion-dollar mistake, a flying computer, and the last manned fighter the world will ever need. This is the F-35 Lightning II. It wasn't built to win dogfights, it was built to end them before the enemy even takes off. Today, we are going inside the most expensive military project in human history to see why the F-35 is the most feared brain in the sky, and why in the digital age, being the fastest or the most agile doesn't matter if you're already dead before you can pull the trigger. The origin of the F-35 Lightning II began with a mission that many experts claimed was impossible, the Joint Strike Fighter program. The Pentagon wanted a single airframe that could replace almost everything in the sky, from the Air Force's F-16 and A-10 to the Navy's F-18 and the Marine Corps' Harrier. It had to be a stealth fighter, a supersonic interceptor, and a vertical landing hoverjet all at once. This Swiss Army knife approach was a massive gamble that pushed Lockheed Martin to the absolute edge of aerospace physics, attempting to create a unified digital architecture that could dominate every branch of modern warfare simultaneously. The result was three distinct versions of the same ghost: the F-35A for traditional runways, the F-35B for short takeoffs and vertical landings, and the F-35C for massive aircraft carriers. The engineering required to make this work was staggering. To make the Marine version hover, engineers had to integrate a massive lift fan system driven by the most powerful fighter engine ever built, the Pratt & Whitney F-135. This allows a supersonic stealth jet to stop in midair and land on a postage stamp-sized deck in the middle of a storm, a feat of mechanical sorcery that left the world's other superpowers decades behind. But the real hype behind the F-35 isn't its wings or its engines, it's the code. The F-35 runs on over 8 million lines of software, making it more of a flying data center than a traditional aircraft. This software allows for something called sensor fusion. Instead of the pilot looking at individual screens for radar, heat signatures, and electronic threats, the plane's brain merges all that information into one seamless tactical picture. The pilot isn't just flying a plane, they are managing a battlefield from a digital high ground that no other nation can reach. Critics were quick to attack the program as costs spiraled into the trillions of dollars. They pointed out that early versions had software glitches, were slower than some fourth-generation jets, and struggled in traditional close-quarters dogfights. However, these critics were thinking in the past. The designers of the F-35 didn't care about a fair fight or pulling high-G maneuvers. They realized that in the 21st century, a dogfight is a failure of strategy. The F-35 was designed to be a sniper in the clouds, a ghost that kills you from 100 miles away while you're still looking at a blank radar screen. This strategic shift is what makes the F-35 so controversial and yet so essential. The US and its allies realized that they couldn't just outbuild their enemies in numbers anymore, they had to outthink them. Every F-35 produced is part of a global lightning network, sharing intelligence in real time across continents. It is a sovereign of the digital age, a machine that was built to make the very concept of an aerial duel obsolete. The gamble was trillions of dollars, and the prize was the total, undisputed control of the sky for the next 50 years. The most terrifying feature of the F-35 is its ability to see everything without being seen. This is achieved through the N/APG-81 radar and the Electro-Optical Targeting System, or EOTS. This isn't just a radar, it's an electronic warfare beast that can track hundreds of targets while simultaneously jamming enemy communications. The EOTS sensor, hidden behind a stealthy glass diamond under the nose, allows the pilot to zoom in on a single truck from 40,000 feet and identify its license plate in total darkness. The F-35 owns the night in a way that makes the original stealth fighters look like museum pieces. Then there is the Distributed Aperture System, or DAS. The F-35 is covered in 6 infrared cameras that provide a 360-degree view around the entire aircraft. This data is projected directly onto the pilot's $400,000 helmet. When the pilot looks down at their feet, they don't see the floor of the cockpit, they see the ground passing below them. They can literally see through the plane. This removes every blind spot, allowing a pilot to track an enemy missile launched from behind them without ever having to turn their head or look at a dashboard. Stealth on the F-35 is a generational leap over the F-22 and the B-2. While the Raptor used delicate coatings that required hours of maintenance, the F-35 uses a fiber matte stealth skin that is much more durable and easier to repair in the field. This material, combined with the jet's curved, angular shape, reduces its radar cross-section to the size of a metal marble. By the time an enemy's advanced S-400 missile system can even get a faint blip on the screen, the F-35 has already released its payload and is halfway home. The F-35 stealth is complemented by its role as an electronic warfare platform. It doesn't just hide, it spoofs. It can send out false signals that make enemy radars see dozens of planes that aren't there, or it can pinpoint an enemy's radar source and shut it down with a directed energy beam. This digital invisibility means the F-35 can escort older jets like the F-15 or F-16 into combat, acting as a stealthy quarterback that clears the path and points out targets that the older planes could never see on their own. To carry its sting, the F-35 uses internal weapons bays to maintain its stealth profile. It can carry a mix of AIM-120 long-range missiles and precision-guided bombs like the JDAM. But the real game-changer is the Sidekick upgrade, which allows the jet to carry even more missiles internally. If stealth isn't required, in what pilots call beast mode, the F-35 can carry up to 22,000 pounds of ordnance on external racks. It is a machine of two faces, an invisible ghost for day one of the war, and a heavy-hitting bomb truck for day two. For years, the F-35 was a paper tiger in the eyes of its detractors. That changed in 2018 when Israel became the first nation to use the F-35 in actual combat. While the details remain classified, Israeli officials confirmed the jet was used to conduct strikes across the Middle East, penetrating some of the most sophisticated air defenses in the region without a single scratch. This wasn't just a mission, it was a demonstration to the world that the F-35 stealth and sensor fusion worked in the chaos of a real, high-threat environment. The F-35 effect has completely changed how American allies prepare for war. Nations like the UK, Japan, Australia, and Norway have all integrated the Lightning II into their fleets, creating a global hive-mind. If a Japanese F-35 spots a target, that information can be instantly transmitted to an American ship or a British carrier. This interoperability is the real Iziaminka of the aircraft. You aren't just fighting one jet, you are fighting an entire global network of sensors that are constantly talking to each other at the speed of light. In massive military exercises like Red Flag, the F-35 has consistently achieved kill ratios of 20-1 against fourth-generation fighters. Pilots who fly against the F-35 often describe the experience as infuriating. They find themselves being killed by a ghost they never saw on their radar. The F-35 pilots don't even have to dogfight, they simply orbit the battlefield, picking off the aggressor jets one by one from extreme ranges. It has fundamentally broken the traditional rules of engagement, proving that in the digital age, whoever has the best data wins every time. The F-35 has also proven itself as a vital asset in the ongoing tensions in Eastern Europe. Following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, NATO deployed F-35s to patrol the borders. These aircraft act as vacuum cleaners for intelligence, picking up every radio signal, radar pulse, and troop movement hundreds of miles into enemy territory. They provide NATO commanders with a real-time, high-definition map of the Russian military's activities without ever crossing the border. It is the ultimate tool of deterrence, a machine that says, "I see you, but you can't see me." However, the F-35's combat record is also defined by the data war. The aircraft generates so much information that it requires a specialized cloud-based system called Odin to process it all. This has led to concerns about cybersecurity and the sovereignty of the data. Every time an F-35 flies, it sends data back to Lockheed Martin for analysis. This has created a unique military environment where maintaining the software is just as important as maintaining the engines. The F-35 is the first aircraft that could theoretically be grounded not by a mechanical failure, but by a software bug or a cyber attack. The final analysis of the F-35 Lightning II is the story of a machine that defined the fifth generation. It proved that the future of air power isn't about being the fastest or having the biggest gun, it's about connectivity and stealth. The F-35 established the blueprint for what a modern fighter should be, a multi-role node in a massive digital network. It has outpaced every attempt by Russia and China to build a true competitor, and it remains the primary tool of Western air superiority for the next 40 years. The legacy of the F-35 can be seen in the development of loyal wingman drones. The F-35 was designed from the ground up to act as a mothership for autonomous aircraft. In the near future, a single F-35 pilot will lead a swarm of robotic drones into combat, using the jet's massive brain to coordinate their movements. This will turn a single pilot into a commander of an entire aerial fleet, multiplying their lethality while keeping the human pilot in a safe, invisible position far from the front lines. Despite its rocky start, the F-35 program is now a massive commercial success. Over 900 aircraft have been delivered, and more nations are signing up to join the Lightning Club every year. The high production numbers have finally brought the cost per jet down to the level of older fourth-generation fighters, making it a no-brainer for any military that wants to stay relevant. The F-35 has become the standard of the democratic world, a machine that ensures that its allies can fight together as one unified, digital force. The cultural impact of the F-35 is a mix of awe and digital mystery. It is the jet that replaced the pilot's instincts with algorithmic precision. For the men and women who fly it, the F-35 is more than a plane, it is a partner that manages the chaos of war for them. It is a symbol of a world where technology has moved beyond human reaction times, a machine that represents the absolute peak of what human civilization can achieve when it focuses all its industrial and digital power on a single goal, the control of the sky. Standing next to an F-35 today, you feel its imposing, smooth, and futuristic presence. Its skin is made of advanced composites that feel like something from another planet. It radiates a sense of silent, calculated power. It doesn't look like a warbird from the 20th century, it looks like a craft that belongs in a digital future. From the trillion-dollar mistake to the invisible architect, the F-35 has remained the ultimate tool of modern security. It is the machine that ensures the enemy never sees the end coming, turning digital logic into a permanent law of the sky. The F-35 Lightning II is more than a fighter jet, it is a 60,000-pound guarantee of technological dominance. It proved that in the 21st century, the most important armor is the ability to see the world first and share that vision with an entire army. It is a masterpiece of fire, stealth, and digital logic that redefined the very nature of conflict. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the invisible architect. Is the F-35 the greatest military investment in history, or will the rise of AI drones eventually replace the pilot in the cockpit forever? Let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we continue to explore the fire and steel of history. Peace out.